Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the start of a new reading vlog. So this is going to be another Christmas reading vlog. So I have a bunch of Christmas reads that I want to get to. I'm currently in the middle of three. I'm not sure what else I'm going to read for this video, but I currently have three that I want to talk about that I am in the middle of. So I have a physical read, a audiobook and an ebook that I'm currently working on. I more often than not have at least 3 books on the go because I read in different formats and I like to have a different one for each format that I'm reading. And I'll, like for audiobook, I'll listen to that around the house or when I go out walking, you know, when I'm doing chores and things, I'll have the audiobook on. And then in the evening, I like to switch between a physical read and a ebook because especially if I'm reading hardbacks, like it's sometimes can be quite difficult to hold the hardback for long periods of time. So I like to switch between my Kindle and a physical book. And I am now off work for 2 weeks for Christmas, so I feel like I'm going to have plenty of time to get some of these Christmas books read, which I'm really happy about, and I can't wait to share with you what I'm currently reading. So as I say, I'm reading 3 at the moment, and so far I'm really enjoying all 3 of them, so that is really good, and I'm just going to dive into the books that I'm currently reading. So first one is How My Neighbour Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. This is my audiobook read and I'm having a really good time with this one. The audiobook is a full cast audio, so I would definitely recommend listening to the audiobook. And this one I am having a really good time with. If you like Megan Quinn's books, I think you will definitely like this. It has her classic kind of humour. And this one we are following Story and Cole, and it is set in this small town that kind of celebrates Christmas all year round. And Story hasn't been back to the town for many years. She used to go and visit with her great aunt and her great aunt when she was younger. Her and her sister would go and visit her great aunt every Christmas, but she hasn't been back to the town in like over 10 years. But recently her great aunt had a fall and ended up having a hip replacement, so her and her sister are back in town to kind of help take care of her aunt. And one of the things that her aunt wants Story to do is take part in this Christmas Kringle competition, which is like who can be the most Christmassy person in the town. And Story very reluctantly agrees to take part in this, and it is a competition which kind of lasts throughout the whole of December. And people participate and take part in various different Christmas activities. So we've had a making eggnog competition. There's going to be like a candy cane competition. There's a lights decoration competition. There's lots of different competitions to see who is the most Christmassy. And people like award them points. And if they say like Merry Christmas to someone or Happy Holidays or anything like that, that kind of goes towards their points. And it's basically like who can be the most Christmassy. And Cindy, who is Story's great aunt, has always wanted to win, but I don't think she ever has. And so she really wants Story to win. And Cole is the next door neighbour, and he is pretty grumpy and doesn't really love Christmas. But he gets roped into taking part in this competition as well. And him and Story have a bit of a past. They had this kind of moment when she was previously back in town, and they have not really seen each other for like 10 years. And as I say, he is very grumpy and they have this very fierce rivalry. Neither of the two want the other to win, and so they are very competitive, and there's a lot of back and forth banter between the two as they want to obviously one up each other. And they ending up going on some fake dates because Cole kind of goads her into it. And I am really having a good time with this one. It is a lot of fun and it has that classic Megan Quinn humour. I have heard that this one gets quite spicy. I haven't got quite to that point yet. We're still very much in the kind of early stages of their romance. They have kind of got to the bit where they're fake dating, and there is definitely an attraction between the two, but it's not really progressed too far yet. This one is quite long, so that's probably my only negative about it, but at the moment, because I'm listening to the audiobook, it doesn't feel like it's too long. And yeah, I'm having a really good time with it. I'm definitely interested to see where this one goes and what other shenanigans are gonna these characters are going to get up to, because it's a really fun read and one that I would definitely recommend, and it's made me really want to pick up the next book as well, so that might be another one that I pick up for this video. And I think I might check out the audiobook for book 2 as well, because that one is also another full cast audiobook, and they are definitely worth a read. So yeah, would recommend this one so far, and I'm just probably over 50% of the way through for this one, so I feel like this will probably be one of the first ones I get finished, possibly. The other one that I might finish is my physical read, and I'm physically reading Holly by Adeline Grace, and this is book 3.5 in the Belladonna series. And yes, you do need to have read the previous books in the trilogy to dive into this one. This one is marketed as being a Christmas novella set in the Belladonna world, but I would say this is like full-length novel. I wouldn't say it's a novella. And we are following the characters from the trilogy. So we've got Blythe, what's his name? Artius? Something like that. I'll put it on screen. I always forget their names. Signa and... it's Aris and Silas, and they are obviously the two main couples from the series, and they are spending Christmas at I think it's called Wisteria Gardens, is the house where Blythe and Aris live. And they're spending Christmas there, and Blythe wants it to be like this perfect Christmas time with all of them spending it together, and all of them obviously are like in their happy, ever afters, because they've had their books and they're all happy, so she wants it to be like this perfect Christmas. But Signa on the first night there starts seeing these spirits. Signa can, obviously if you've read the trilogy, you'll know that she can see spirits, and she can see that this house is overrun by many spirits. It's not just one, there's many of them, and we are trying to discover what happened to them so Signa can help them move on. And I'm really enjoying this one. This one is such a great read. If you have read the rest of the series, I think you will enjoy this one. I am having a really good time with it. This one also has really pretty artwork inside as well. This book as a whole, if you've watched any of my hauls, you'll have seen I've shown this book multiple times because it is so pretty, but I love the artwork in here. I think it really adds something to the story, and it's really nice seeing these characters kind of almost be like brought to life, and that's kind of interspersed throughout the whole book, this artwork. And then I will just show you the naked foiling again, because it's just such a stunning book, and I'm really glad that I'm having a great time with this. I'm also flying through it. It seems really quick and fast paced, which I'm really enjoying, and I'm definitely interested to see how this story concludes, where we're going to go with obviously all these spirits. Silas, who is obviously Death and Signa's partner, he is away on some kind of mysterious errand that Blythe seems to have sent him on, and they've been very secretive about what he's doing, so he isn't really in the book so much at the moment, but I guess he's going to come back and we will see more of him at some point. But yeah, so far really enjoying this one, and I'm probably about 50% of the way through this one. This one, I think either this one or my audiobook is the one that I will probably finish first. But yeah, having a great time with this, and would definitely recommend it if you have read the rest of the series. But as I say, you do need to have read the other books to pick this one up. You can't just dive into this one, unfortunately. And then the last one that I'm reading on my Kindle is Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. This is Hannah Grace's latest book, and yes, I do have a physical copy, but I wanted to pick it up on Kindle. This is the collector's hardback edition, and I don't love reading hardbacks physically. I prefer to read a paperback or my Kindle, but I do like having them for my shelf, and I'm enjoying this one so far. I'm about 20% of the way into this one, and this one is Clara and Jack's story. So Clara Davenport works at her family's toy company, and she at the beginning of the book there is this kind of big work scandal where the company Davenport Toys makes this doll. And this doll is like a direct copy of a doll that Jack makes in his small town of Fraser Falls, I think that was the name. Yeah, Fraser Falls. And it's basically this big PR nightmare because someone from the town goes on social media and does like a very negative video about Davenport Toys, kind of slating them and saying that they stole their idea, and it's kind of like a big thing for the company, like a big negative thing that they need to resolve. And Clara is sent to the town of Fraser Falls to see what she can do to kind of resolve this situation and put obviously Davenport back in good light. And she goes there, and she's on her first night there, she ends up in the local bar, and she meets Jack at the bar, but she doesn't know who he is at that point. And they have this really instant connection. They have a really good time at the bar. There's a lot of flirting and banter between the two. And then the next day she goes to the coffee shop to kind of start this to find out more about the town and find out who she needs to speak to. She thinks that the person that she needs to speak to is called Harry because the store where the toy is made is called Harry's, so she assumes it's owned by someone called Harry. But it actually turns out that Jack is the owner and he is the person that she needs to speak to. So obviously the instant connection that they had is kind of blown out the water because she is the enemy. They don't want her in town. They don't want any Davenport Toys to have anything to do with them because of the because they've obviously stolen their idea, and she is obviously going to try and win them over. That's as far as I got in this one. That's like the basic setup, and I've just kind of got past that kind of basic setup that we see, and so I'm very interested to see how this story progresses and the relationship that develops between Clara and Jack. I am having a really good time with this one as well, and this one definitely, I mean, all of them definitely have very strong Christmas vibes, but this one and also Meghan Quinn's I could definitely see as a holiday film. Not so much with Adeline Grace's, but the other two definitely could see as a holiday film, and this I'm having a really good time with. So yeah, definitely interested to see where this one goes, and I will update you as soon as I've read either of, as soon as I finish one of these books, I will update you, and then we'll see what else I pick up for this video, because I do have plenty other books that I want to get to, and time is running out. We're actually on the, I think, 21st? Yeah, it's the 21st of December, so time is running out to get these Christmas books in, so we'll see what else I pick up for this video. But at this point, let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, what you're thinking of them, and I will update you as soon as I've finished one of them, at least one of them. I'm here with a reading update for Holly by Adeline Grace. I have finished this one and I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 stars. I had such a great time reading this book. It was great to be back in the world with these characters. This is just a really sweet Christmas story featuring the characters from the Belladonna trilogy, and it was just really nice seeing these characters again. The story, as I mentioned in my previous clip, they are spending Christmas at Blythe and I always forget his name, Aris, I think, yeah, Aris. Blythe and Aris's house, Wisteria Gardens, and they discover that the house is haunted by many spirits because the house was built on land where a theatre used to be, and the theatre caught fire and basically everyone inside ended up dying, and they are trapped inside with Wisteria Gardens, and they were due to put on like a performance. They were like ballet dancers, so they were due to put on like a Christmas ballet performance when they died. And so to help them move on, Signa is the one that can see them, and she obviously wants to help them move on. And to help them move on, they have to put on their like last performance. And this was just really a really fun read. I really enjoyed, as I say, seeing these characters again. The reading experience of this one was really good because of the added illustrations in here. I never really thought about, I've not really read many books where there are illustrations throughout. But this one really added to the reading experience, I feel like, because these characters were brought to life and we got to obviously see different scenes from the book. I was just trying to find some of the other illustrations so I could show you. That's the same one that I've already shown, but it just really adds to kind of the reading experience, seeing these characters being brought to life. And this is just such a pretty book, and I had a great time with it. I'm really glad that I read this, and I'm interested to see what this author does next, because she has this book wasn't really meant to exist. The Belladonna trilogy was supposed to be like complete, and then she obviously decided to add this one, and I'm really glad that she did, but I'm definitely interested to see what she does next. I do have her other duet to read, whatever that's called. I don't think it's got the name in here of what it's called, but her other duet I have on my shelf to read, so I do plan to read that hopefully in 2026, but she has got a new book coming out in 2026 which I would definitely be picking up. But yeah, highly recommend this if you are a fan of the Belladonna trilogy, and if you haven't read the Belladonna trilogy, I would definitely recommend picking it up. And then the book that I have started reading next is, I'm not too far into it, but it's 'Tis the Season for Secrets by Kate Callahan. This one I'm not very far in at all, so I don't really have too much to say about it, but as soon as I've read more on it, I will give you my thoughts on it. This one is book 2 in the Village of Yule series, and I did read the first book, The Naughty or Nice Clause, a few years ago now, and I had a really good time with it, and I'm hoping to enjoy this one. So far it's just okay for me, but it is still very early days, so I will wait until I'm around the halfway mark to give you my full thoughts on this one, and we'll see what I finish reading next. So I am here with a few reading updates. It's been a couple of days since I updated this reading vlog, and I've actually finished 2 books and I'm in the middle of like 2 others. The Hannah Grace one I haven't actually read anymore since my last update, so I won't be updating on this one here, but I obviously will be finishing that one hopefully soon. But I'll start with the 2 books that I have finished. So I finished How My Neighbour Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn, and I had a really good time with this one and gave it 5 stars. I thought that this one was so much fun, and it definitely reads like a Christmas book. So if you're looking for a Christmas book that gives you the kind of feels of watching a Christmas film, I think this one will really work for you. This one has at the beginning of most of the chapters, it has like a narration type style, which is almost like not poetry, but it's hard to explain, but it has like a narrator that kind of narrates what's happening in like very typical of what you see in certain Christmas films. So I'll just show you the beginning here, if you want to pause and read, but to kind of see an example of it. But that's kind of like the example of what it looks like, and has throughout, as I say, at the beginning of most of the chapters, it has like a little like narration style, which when you listen to the audiobook is done really well and definitely gives that feel of a Christmas film. And as I mentioned in my previous update, this is a small town romance, and I absolutely loved that element. I really liked seeing the Christmas competition. So Story and Cole were doing various different Christmas activities, like decorating the house with Christmas lights, gingerbread baking competition, eggnog competition, making eggnog, something to do with making candy canes as well. And I just thought that this was a lot of fun. This has Megan Quinn's typical humour, which I do really enjoy, and also Megan Quinn writes a lot of spicy stuff in here as well, so if you don't like spicy romance books, this probably isn't for you, but that was done really well. And I just really loved the romance between Story and Cole. There is like a little twist that happens at the end, which I didn't really see coming, but kind of makes sense when you think about it. Another thing that I really liked, obviously I listened to the audiobook of this one, just because I had that, and it's a full cast audiobook, so one that I would definitely recommend, and I do plan to pick up the second book and listen to the audiobook for that. I was just trying to find it, but there is some kind in the book that I've got, it's got typically now I can't find any, but I know there's some at the beginning, but it's got some like artwork in here as well, which I think is really nice. Oh, there we go. And there is some other artwork in here like interspersed throughout the story, and I really enjoyed seeing that. I had a quick flick through of the book to kind of look at some of the artwork, and typically now that I am trying to find it, oh there we go, So throughout the book there's little bits of artwork, which is always really nice to see. But yeah, really glad that I read this one. Would definitely recommend it, and I'm really happy to say that I've had quite a few 5-star reads this month. I don't know if it's because of my mood, because I'm not obviously at work, so I've got kind of nothing really on my mind other than focusing on, like, you know, doing things around the house and reading, so I can really kind of focus on the book and give it my kind of full attention, which maybe is why I'm liking my reading a bit more than normal, or just having a bit more of a fun time, because I don't typically give a lot of 5 stars, but I've had a few this month, so really glad that I've picked this up, and would definitely recommend it if you haven't already picked it up. The other one that I've read, I listened to another audiobook, and that was Inner Holidays by Christina Lauren. So this one has been on my TBR for a really long time. I think ever since it came out, I've had it on my TBR, and I've had a copy of the audiobook for probably nearly as long as that. I've had it for quite a while on my from my Audible catalogue, and I thought I'd get around to listening to it. Now, I didn't know too much about what this plot was about, but it actually has one of my least favourite tropes, and that is the Groundhog Day type trope. I really dislike that trope, and most of the books that I've read that have it, I haven't loved. So maybe I should have like not continued on with it, but I did have a good time with it. I thought it was okay and gave it 3 stars. Christina Lauren is very much a hit or miss writing duo for me. Some of their books I've really loved, and some of them I've really not enjoyed, and particularly their more recent releases, I haven't had the best of luck with those. But this one, as I say, was okay. I gave it 3 stars. This one feels very much, if you like the Summer I Turned Pretty, I think you will like this, because it has some similar tropes in there. So we follow May, who is travelling to this cabin that they go to every Christmas. It's her and her parents, and then like another family and their kids, and some like family friends, and they all spend Christmas together at this log cabin, and they spend their Christmas together, and she has always had a crush on the older brother, Andrew, from this other family, and he has a younger brother called Theo. And at the beginning of the book, it's been Christmas, they've had their Christmas together, and her and Theo kind of have like this moment, and he is very awkward about it after the fact and doesn't really speak to her and kind of ignores her. And so she makes this wish saying, I wish I could find what would make me happy, or something like that. And that's when she enters into this Groundhog Day situation where she repeats the events of the Christmas that she's already had at the cabin. Obviously she has this thing for Andrew, and that they are the main couple in this book, even though at the beginning she has a thing with Theo. So very much like the Summer I Turned Pretty between the 2 brothers, and also the fact that they have this cabin that they go to every year, and it's in jeopardy because the family are thinking of selling it because of the upkeep. And I like this one. As I say, I probably would have liked it more if it didn't feature that trope that I don't like. I find whenever I read the Groundhog Day trope, obviously the nature of the trope is that they keep repeating like the same events, and I find that really boring because it obviously gets quite repetitive. Luckily in this one it didn't drag out the repetition of the days. I think she did like 3 or 4 repetitions, so it didn't drag out too much. I've read other ones where it's like throughout the whole book it's like a repeat of the same thing, and that just gets boring very quickly. But overall I thought this one was okay. I'm glad I've ticked it off my TBR, but it's definitely not one that I am fully in love with. And then the physical read that I'm currently working on is 'Tis the Season for Secrets by Kate Callahan. So in my last clip I'd mentioned that I'd started this, and I've got maybe like halfway through. I am not loving this one, I must say. Like, I'm not fully invested in it yet. The first book in this series, I don't know if it was like a right time, right place situation, but I really loved this one. But this one's not quite doing it for me. In this one, we are following Juliet and Will. And in this series, it's the Village of Yule series. And Yule is a small town in the North Pole. And it has magic. And Juliet is part of a family who has been banished from Yule, so she doesn't know anything about this small town and her kind of family history. And Will is I think he's called a guardian. who is someone that, Guardians of Yule, who is someone who kind of is outside of Yule, kind of helping people to have, live their life and kind of protect the secrets of Yule sort of thing. And he comes into Juliet's life and kind of is revealing the secrets of Yule to her. And that's kind of as far as I've got up to, but I'm not super invested in this one yet. The romance has happened quite quickly. They've already got together in this book. I mean, they're not in a relationship, but they've already had a few moments together, which kind of happened very quickly and almost like very out of the blue, which isn't always a problem, but I'm just not liking it in this one. So I am in two minds as to whether I should continue on with this, but part of me wants to because I really enjoyed the first book. So I will try and continue on with it and see where I end up with it, but potentially I might DNF this one, so we'll see. I'll let you know in my next clip. And I don't know what else I'm going to read. I do want to read the next Meghan Quinn book. So I might do that for this video as well. And then I've obviously got the Hannah Grace book to finish as well, but I will update you once I've read more. I'm here to wrap up this reading vlog, and I have finished another book and I've got an update on one of my other books. So for this video, I'm going to keep it at 4 books, and then I think I'm going to do like one final Christmas reading vlog. It is now after Christmas, so I haven't done very well with this reading vlog at actually like updating you as I read. It's mainly been once I finished a book I've updated you. It's just been a little bit hectic, so hopefully in my next vlog I'll be better at actually updating as I go along, but I'm really happy with what I've read for the most part for this vlog. So I will start with the bad news first, and then we'll go on to the better news. But 'Tis the Season for Secrets by Kate Callaghan. I sadly decided to DNF this one. I read quite a decent amount, probably about 100 pages, maybe a little bit less of this one, and I just wasn't really getting on with it. I wasn't really interested in this story. The writing didn't seem to be really working for me, and yeah, I just wasn't invested enough in this story to continue on. It is a shame because, as I say, the first book in this series I did really enjoy when I read it a few years ago, but for this one just wasn't hitting the spot for me, and I don't know if that is just because of like me, or if it was just that I wasn't liking this story, or if the writing wasn't working for me. I'm not 100% sure what it is that wasn't working for me, but it wasn't, so I just decided to DNF this one and not continue on with it. And this, I don't think I am going to revisit this one. I will still try book 3 in this series because I'm interested to see whether it is a case of just this particular one didn't work for me, or if I'm now no longer interested in this author's writing, so I can decide whether I want to pick up more from them in the future. I've read a couple of things from this author, and what I've read I've had a good time with, so I am surprised to be DNFing this one, but I will be getting rid of this one from my collection. I won't be keeping it on my shelf. And then the next one, which I have finished reading, is Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace, and I enjoyed this one and gave it 4 stars. This one is definitely my least favourite from the reading vlog, obviously minus the DNF, but I did have a really good time with this one. So I think in the previous update I'd kind of given you a brief synopsis about this one, but we have Clara and Jack, and Clara, it works for this big toy corporation. It's her family's like toy company, and they when she was working at the company in a different department, because her dad makes her move around and works in different departments because he claims that it is gonna she needs to like understand the business by working in all these different departments, and he keeps like dangling a promotion above her head, but her dad's like not a very nice guy at all. And when she was in one of the departments, she set up this kind of small business initiative, whereby they would partner with a small business and kind of help them succeed, but when she got moved on to work in a different department, someone else was obviously overseeing the small business initiative, and they definitely took it in a way that she wasn't expecting, and definitely it made it into a more like corporate thing, and made it very much to benefit the company rather than helping the small business. And Jack is the owner of the small business. He creates this Christmas doll, which Davenport Toys decide to make a copy of it, and massively undercut them in terms of pricing and obviously quality, and kind of all of that sort of stuff. And Clara is sent to the small town of Fraser Falls to kind of smooth over that relationship, because one of the town people posts a video that goes viral where she's basically slamming the company and saying terrible things about Davenport Toys, and it's like a big PR nightmare. So Clara is sent to kind of resolve that issue, and on her first night there she meets Jack, and they obviously have this instant connection. And it's obviously then later revealed who she is, and that causes a little bit of conflict between the two of them. But their relationship obviously does smooth out, and Clara ends up spending time in the town, getting to know the townspeople and helping not just Jack's business but other businesses around town. She offers them advice on things that they could do to improve their business, different like marketing techniques, putting them in touch with some clients that she knows that will obviously benefit the business, and she really kind of embeds herself into this small town. So I did really like this one. I love the small town aspect, and I really like seeing Clara kind of integrate herself into small town life. One of the things I love about a small town romance is seeing the kind of small town community kind of pulled together, and all of the different characters within the small town. So I liked that aspect of it. I did think that the first portion of this book and the setup of this book was a little bit slow going. And in parts, this does have quite a lot of business aspects. We talk a lot about like PR and marketing and lots of different things, and there's quite a few business terms that are thrown in there, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it did feel quite a lot at times. As I say, particularly in that first portion of the book, it did feel quite slow and quite dragged out. This book is, how long is this book? It's not actually too long. It seems longer. It's 364 pages, but at times it did feel like a bit of a slog to get through, which is why I gave it 4 stars. I definitely liked this town that Hannah Grace has created. This is obviously the first book in a new series for her, and I believe she is planning to write future books in this series. It's set in this small town. I'm not sure if there is a name for the next book, or if there's any kind of synopsis about the next book, but I would definitely be interested to see more in this town. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if the next book that she plans to write is also going to be a Christmas book, or if it's going to be something else, but I'm definitely intrigued enough to continue on. I do really like Hannah Grace's writing. I know some people really don't like her books, but for me, I do have a good time with them. This one's definitely not my favourite from her, but I did have a solid time. I also could see this as a holiday movie, which I know some people kind of say that in a bad way, like, oh, this is such a Hallmark type movie plot, but I really like those type of films, and I could definitely see this as a film, which is, when I'm looking at a Christmas book, that is some of the things that I really look for, is can I see this as a holiday film? Does this give me holiday vibes, Christmas vibes? And this one definitely does. As I say, I didn't love it as much as the 2 other books that I read, but overall I had a really good time and would definitely recommend it if you are looking for a small town holiday romance. So they are the books that I have read so far for this vlog, and as I say, this is going to be the end of this vlog, but I do plan to do one last reading vlog featuring Christmas books. It'll probably be uploaded right at the beginning of January, but I'm going to be reading Christmas books for the last few days of December and probably a little bit into January, just to get that vlog done, because I've got quite a few audiobooks out from the library that will be due soon. I've got I think 1 physical book from the library as well, so I'm going to try and wrap up all my kind of Christmas reading in this next week, and then we'll be back to non-Christmassy books going into January. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned in this video, and I will see you in my next one.